Jerry Miller has been around for a long time. He was a former founding member of the 1960 San Francisco Moby Grape Band, and right now he currently continues performing with his own band, the Jerry Miller Band, back in his hometown in Tacoma, Washington. Hi, my name is Brianna, and today I'm here at the Save for Milton to interview Jerry Miller, a former Moby Grape musician, and now has his own band, the Jerry Miller Band. So for my first question, tell me about the process of how you got started in these bands.
Oh, I think, you got to practice a while before you think about getting a band. And then when you're real young, you're lucky if anybody will play with you. But a drummer is necessary, usually. And if you got a guitar, we didn't really... When I was starting off, they didn't really even have the electric bass much. So it'd usually be maybe two guitars and a drummer. But later on, you bump into better players, the people that you want to play with.
I started out in school too, and the reason I got involved in bands is just at 16 years old, we didn't have a marching band at our high school, so I initially started meeting, fellow students that play guitar and bass, and started that way.
Okay.
It's something that just comes together naturally. But it's good to have a foundation, and if you can start in school with music, it's very good for you.
Yeah. What made you interested in being involved in blues and jazz?
Well, first, I think it's rock and roll usually was, which is basically the blues with a beat, And then as you evolve, you want to, you just don't want them same three basic chords all the time. So you want to be able to be cool and put in a little 13th chord or your 7th, 9th.
And in blues, that is the foundation, though, really, for American music. And like they say, what's the saying,
Yeah. If you want to grow
blues had a baby, and they called it rock and roll. And jazz, if you really want to step out structure-wise.
If you want to expand, then you go to the sophisticated, and there's nothing better than that. Here comes Kim Workman. Come on in.
Come on in, Kim. So yeah, definitely. It's always good to go back in history and look at where it all started.
What do you think is the purpose and meaning of this type of music for like blues?
Expression of the soul.
Yeah. Expression.
Just, everybody's had good times, everybody's had bad times, and you could write about both, but I think the blues is
storytelling.
When your woman leaves you, you really got to admit that. The blues will just roll out like nothing.
Yeah, I've never heard a happy song about your woman leaving.
Yeah. Way back home.
How do you connect to what the purpose was in the early part of the 20th century as compared to now?
Early part of the 20th century.
I wasn't around yet.
I was the only one around in 1890.
I can only connect to the experiences that I've had in my life. I mean, I'm 60 years old at this point, and I've seen my share of good times and bad times. And blues, really, to me, that's why it's ageless and timeless.
It's jazz, the original form of folk music. There's folk blues, there's...
Well, you said it, Glenn. You're telling a story. It's all about the story, about hardship and about overcoming this or that. And it doesn't have to be about your woman. It doesn't have to be about your job. It doesn't have to
About
be.
the rain.
Could be about your rain. About the rain. Yeah. 90 days of rain.
Yeah.
Gravel
Raining
song.
in Tacoma.
Yeah. Oh, loose gravel song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, you could, way back there, they were all developing things, you know, that come through Hori and all of that, way back in the 20s, Big Spiderback, Louis Armstrong. And then when it moved up a bit further, you got up to John Coltrane, and that's quite a leap. But some of those guys started making fun of Louis Armstrong and some of those old guys until they developed a little bit with their hotshot selves and realized how good Louis Armstrong and those guys really were.
How has blues socially impacted people?
To be unhappy. You know, you're not alone. And you know,
it's a common thread because
Yeah. The music brings people together.
anytime somebody walks in, they can always come up and play a blues. Most anyone, they can tap their toe.
if they're honest
Yeah,
with themselves
yeah.
and they play, then the people will know it. You know, it's a very honest form of music.
And a modicum of rhythm is required.
Throughout history, how has blues and jazz evolved through our culture today?
Oh, well, there used to be a lot more looseness about it all. You know, there was a lot more places to play. Now there's a lot more rules, a lot more laws, and a lot more cops.
Well,
A lot more things on the road. See, it scares the audiences away. And so it scares club owners away. And so there's just not as many. We were talking about that earlier, me
Yeah.
and Glenn on the way
Less
over.
venues to play at, less opportunities.
well, I think blues set the standard. They set the groundwork for expression in music, for real expression in music. You know, I mean, Good Morning Heartache, all the stuff. I mean, there's so many songs that came out so long ago that set that.
Yeah.
And jazz really took that form of expression to the next level. You know, there's only a few art forms, the few things that Americans can really claim. Blues and jazz and movies are really the only three art forms that we have that really came from this country. And jazz came directly out of blues. It was a natural progression of free form. You know, speaking from the heart, singing from the soul, creating, talking about your misery. And then it became a joyous thing when you could do that with others. And that's kind of the thing that we try to capture
Yeah.
is some nights, you know, it's just, I mean, we don't have to look at each other. We're just having fun and we're playing. And then we do look at each other. And then we just laugh because it's like,
We're funny looking, right?
because we're funny looking.
Especially if we do good. If
Yeah,
somebody does good, you got to say.
Yeah, it's another form of communication.
'Cause that helps everybody go, you know, when you give somebody some good.
The audience sees that too.
They give us the good.
They see that, and then all of a sudden it's like, then they're excited, and it's like, oh God, those guys, they're jamming up there, you know.
Then we get cooking.
And music's one of the only activities that actually activates every part of your brain. You're using your entire brain while you're performing music or even listening to music.
Well, I am, but
Well,
Somebody
you
asked
know how that goes.
So what are the main things you focus on in making music? For example, rhythm, harmony, melody, tempo, tone, pitch, etc. And explain how you use these things in your music.
you're getting way too technical.
Yeah.
The thing about musically too is there actually is structure. It's somewhat mathematical. So there are rules. You can push the envelope here and there, but there are certain things that have to be in line for it to work out and for it to sound right.
Yeah, you have to be together.
And then rhythm, tempo, melody, all that stuff. It's all
All the same. It all fits in. The harmonies are wonderful. And we do those once in a while. We come up with it. Me and Kim there. We could do more.
And then what is the name of the instrument you use and how do you use it?
The instrument I use is the guitar. That's Beulah, the one I have here now. It's a Gibson L5 that I've had for 54 years. It was made for me way back when Gibson was at Kalamazoo.
They traced out your hand, right, on a piece of paper, and built the guitar for
Like
you.
so. See? Jumping pencil. Yeah. Well, there you go. See?
Yeah, I know.
Like that.
Then they built the guitar for him.
Yeah.
So took that and
Yeah, and
fashioned the neck to
and you
fit
send
his
that back to
hand.
Show them what they designed the sticks after.
What's that?
Nothing, never mind.
I get your point. That's funny.
Well, I was just thinking about his finger.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm a bass player.
With a little. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, shoot the electric guitar. Started what? Les Paul invented the electric guitar.
Yeah, Les Paul started the electric
40s?
guitar. Oh no,
30s.
Charlie Christian.
Charlie Christian, right? That's true.
But Les Paul advanced it, and he came out with amplifiers and new high impedance pickups and low impedance pickups, and he made up all kinds of stuff. And it evolved because early all the guitar players did was whack away at it with a big guitar. And
Guitar was a rhythm instrument in a big band. It was
it
just,
basically had to be really loud because otherwise you'd have a banjo player to chop. So they come in, but when they got the amplifiers, then you could hear Charlie Christian with Benny Goodman and Count Basie and some of those guys. Or you take Freddie Green, who played with Count Basie, never took a solo, played with him 70 years. Never took a solo.
it wasn't the place for the guitar. It was a rhythm instrument originally,
that's right.
and then it became.
Percussion instrument.
Yeah, yeah.
And what is
made
it?
out of?
And what is this?
It's made out of, my guitar is select grain spruce on the top, which, why you have that is because you have these stripes on the select grain spruce. And as the instrument ages, like with the Stradivariuses, you got a finish on the top, but on the inside there's no finish. So the pulp in between the stripes, the black stripes, falls out as to how you're playing the instrument for many years, and it will adapt to who's ever playing it. And age will do that, and that's something a lot of people don't know, but that's what the Stradivarius have done through the 16th century. I looked at a lot of them, the Smithsonian, pretty cool.
The different pieces of wood become one with themselves over
Yeah.
time due to
They
the
vibrate,
vibrations.
Yeah.
And the back is maple, curly and flame maple, and the neck is maple. And then for the fretboard, that's ebony.
Wood has its own resonant quality too, density, all of that, because it applies with the bass guitar, it plays with the drums as well. The drums themselves haven't even, the drum set that we play nowadays hasn't even been around for 100 years. That's about 1925 is when the drum set came about. But it was a combination of bringing European orchestral music with African music and gongs from the East, China and Turkey, and that's pretty much just an amalgamation of cultures in one thing called the drum set.
Your turkey made the Zildjian cymbals, right?
Makes a musician happy.
Sometimes going home.
There's so many
Getting
things.
paid.
Yeah,
Getting paid. You know, I play for the
Really
connection
familiar.
on stage with my fellow musicians and with the connection to the audience. I really, I did it for a living for 22 years. Now, it's great to get paid, but I really play for the camaraderie and for the magic that we create. I mean, we really don't want to play, I don't want to play anything the same way twice, but I want to play it the same, or I want to play it right every time. And somewhere in between there, that's the ether world of really where music is, because it is magic, but it's real. There's no sleight of hand in music. Either you are together and you're playing it and you're making music, or you're not. It's not smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, if you wanted to see who's who in the old westerns, you had to pull out your pistol and see if you're faster than the other guy.
Two kinds of cowboys.
But with the
Quick and the
guitars and the drums and the basses and stuff, you can say, I can do this, and you can't bullshit anybody.
music today is all
Did I say bullshit?
overdubbed, and it's you did, but you can't say that. So.
I can't say that.
Music is overdubbed, and there's a
You
click
can't bullshit.
track in the studio. Everybody cheats, and music is
It's
artificial
a
and
formula.
phony.
Yeah, it's more of a formula. The blues element's still there because it's the base of all the music, but
Did you say bass?
you play bass, right?
I do.
Last question, what do you like the most about your band, and what advice can you give to new upcomers that want to start their own band?
Well,
Playing it.
Chemistry,
it's really all about the joy of
Just the
making
joy of-
music, and
expression,
And
There's-
lessons.
because of playing and finding the right people that fit with you. There's a lot of listening and being open. Listening is a big
That's
part
true.
of music.
Yeah.
I
But
know.
being open to other styles of music and not living in a box.
no bass in a box. I know.
Yeah.
I know what I sound like, so I don't
And
really
no
listen to
boycotters
myself.
either. Come on,
Yeah, we don't do
Back in
too
the day,
many,
people used to sing on pitch and key. And
too many
nowadays-
foxtrots.
Nowadays, the biggest stars, they don't even actually sing, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's
Billy,
right.
whatever. I mean, you got
Yeah, they have-
Miley, Millie. They're all
They have a thing too called the audio tune, or what are they
yeah,
called?
Autobot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that even these little girls in Nashville can sing.
Why not? Don't be sexist.
Oh yeah, well,
There's a lot of little
same
boys
with the
out
little
there
boys.
on America's Got Talent that
all,
couldn't sing
all
either.
richer and younger than the other one.
Yeah.
But they're lined up for that country stuff back there in
And
Nashville.
half them country singers.
If you want to see something disgusting, watch Nashville Wives. I watched it just a little bit before
I don't
Law
have
and Order.
cable, so that works.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for your time, and that's Jerry Miller Band for you.
Cool. Thank you, Brianna.
Thank you.
All right.
Definitely, and love music and love yourself and pick up an instrument and start playing it.
And thank you.